The rain fell in sheets against the window, a relentless drumming that matched the hollow ache in Clara's chest. She sat on the edge of the bed, her fingers tracing the cool indentation on the pillow next to her. It was a map of an absence, a physical reminder of a warmth that had vanished 3 months ago. The house, once a vessel overflowing with the chaos of shared life, the slammed doors of a teenager. The muddy footprints of a dog, the low murmur of late-night conversations was now a museum of echoes. She could still hear Max's laugh in the hallway, a bright sound that used to make her smile involuntarily. Now it was a ghost that lurked in the silence, appearing just when she'd forgotten to brace herself. It was the small things that ended her, not the grand, sweeping gestures of grief. It was finding one of his old t-shirts in the laundry, the scent of him sawdust and specific soap still clinging to the fabric. She held it to her face, breathing deeply, trying to pull him back into the room, into her lungs. The tears would come then, hot and silent, soaking the cotton that would never again be warm from his body. Their son, Leo, coped by building walls of silence. He'd retreat to his room, his music a declaration she couldn't enter. At dinner, he'd push his food around his plate, his jaw tight. They'd sit in the heavy quiet. The empty chair between them, a chasm neither knew how to bridge. She missed Max, but watching Leo grieve was a secondary heartbreak. Today was the hardest. The anniversary of the day they met, a date they'd celebrated for 18 years. She could picture him leaning against the bookstore counter, a smudge of rain on his glasses, recommending a novel. "Trust me," he said, his eyes crinkling. "It's a story you won't want to end." She never did. The rain softened to a drizzle. Clara finally stood, the ache in her knees a testament to how long she'd been sitting. She walked to his study, a room she'd barely entered since he'd been gone. It smelled of old paper and dust. On his desk, beside a mug with a fossil of coffee at the bottom, was a notebook. She opened it. It was a list, in his messy handwriting. Things to fix, Clara's birthday present ideas for the next 10 years. The last entry, dated a week before the accident, was simply, "Tell Clara she's still the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." A sound escaped her, something between a gasp and a sob. It wasn't a cry of anguish, but of profound love. It was the sound of knowing that her story, the one she had loved most, had indeed ended, and she was left with the infinite, empty space where the next chapter should have been. The silence in the house was no longer just quiet, it was the sound of forever.